Hello Culers, it's Pablo here and welcome back to Barca Universal and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. In today's video we have got a Barcelona News Roundup where we're going to be covering and of course discussing all of the latest Barcelona news. In today's video we've got the discussions about Messi's contract, the future of Antoine Griezmann, the future of Ilaix Moriba. He's also got a contract involved there like Lionel Messi, and we're also going to be discussing a bit of pre-season that's coming up, also a few of the other players that could be on their way out pretty soon, the likes of Miralem Pjanić, perhaps Neto and Titi. And are Barcelona going to be making any signings for the remainder of the window? We're going to be discussing all of that, so let's get started. And of course, let's start with the main man, the best player in the world, Lionel Messi. Look, for months now we've heard great news, we've heard positive news about Lionel Messi's survival at Barcelona. But about a month ago now, actually, on the 30th of June, his official contract at Barcelona did indeed expire. But everything's still calm, everything's still under control. Of course, he was playing and winning the Copa America, but he is actually now today back in Barcelona, and I'm hoping, guys, that by the end of this week, Messi would have officially renewed and signed his contract with Barcelona. Now look, I know we've heard that for literally 2.5 months now. It's all been, next week, next couple of days, and it just hasn't happened has it? So look, I'm not going to promise anything. I don't know the inside dates of this, but we're hearing Monday the 2nd of August could be the date that Lionel Messi officially renews his contract with Barcelona. It's all going well. We want it done quickly, but of course Barcelona have got to reduce that wage bill. We have got to sort out some other things at the club before getting Messi on board, so let's see what happens. On to Antoine Griezmann then, a player who was actually quite heavily tied into the Messi contract situation. There were rumours coming out that, look, if Messi stays, Griezmann has to go, and that did look to be the case, and I'm sure that Barcelona still, if they could get a good offer for Griezmann, would move him on. It would of course mean money into the club or a swap deal with a player like Saul, for example, and of course it would mean that Griezmann's wages, which are the second highest at the club behind Messi, would be off the books. But those rumours have died down, the Saul swap deal completely crashed, and now Barcelona are actually looking at ways to keep Griezmann at the club, of course with a salary reduction. I think that news there, guys, is good news for Barcelona. I think losing Griezmann this summer would have been a really, not awful thing to do, but it would have been a bad thing to do in my opinion for Barcelona. We want to stay competitive, we're already not in the best situation, and just letting go of a player like Griezmann, who was our second most important player in terms of output last season, for me just wouldn't have been the best idea. So look, Griezmann now hopefully will agree to that salary reduction. We're hearing he will. That is, what we'd expect from a player like Griezmann, very professional. So I think if you look at Barcelona's attack next season with Griezmann on top of Aguero, Messi, Depay, Ansu Fati, Dembele when he comes back from injury, the young players from La Masia like Collado and Yusuf Demir, it is looking good. On to Ilaix Moriba then, loads and loads of controversy with his contract situation over the last couple of weeks, and I honestly think that this whole situation has blown way out of hand. I thought this contract renewal for Ilaix would actually be quite an easy one. A few years ago, Ilaix was very close to leaving Barcelona to go to Manchester City, but because of the fact that he and his father wanted to stay at Barcelona, they of course renewed with the club. Similar sort of situation is happening here. Loads of English clubs I'm sure would be lining up for Ilaix if he doesn't renew his contract here with Barcelona. But for some weeks now, guys, it's just not really gone the right way, has it? It's gone out of hand. There's been really poor rumours coming out. Some fans have said some really bad stuff to Ilaix too, which we saw on his social media, which just isn't acceptable. But there's just been a bit of, a blown out situation, I find. I think that Ilaix Moriba does want to stay at Barcelona, but I think the fact that, well, he maybe wants a lot of money, his agents, of course, will want the money. That isn't really ideal. I think Barcelona are saying, look, we want to keep you, but on a low wage, on a low salary. You haven't proven enough yet. We do want you in the first team. We do want you as part of Barcelona's future, but just not for, 5 million a year. That's just too much. That's the same that we got Aguero and Memphis Depay on, proven goal scorers at the top of the football. You look at Aguero, for example, what he's done in his career. We can't have Ilaix Moriba, on the same as that, for example. And with our wage situation, it's just not ideal. So we're saying, look, if you want to stay at Barcelona, you'll accept this salary. And, well, that hasn't really gone down so well. What we've heard, though, is that in the next couple of days, it could be all resolved positively. Unfortunately, Ilaix Moriba hasn't sorted out in time. His agents haven't sorted out in time for him to go on pre-season to Germany with the rest of the team, which isn't ideal, of course. Ilaix is going to have a bit of a weird start to the season because of this contract thing, but hopefully it gets sorted out. He's a big player of Barcelona's future, and the news we're hearing in the past few days has been positive, so let's hope he renews in the next week or so, similarly to Lionel Messi. Moving on then to another midfielder who will surely be on his way out this summer. It's going to be Miralem Pjanić. Of course, guys, at Barcelona, all we want is, well, let's move on some of the dead wood, as we call it, the players who we think need to go. And I think Pjanić, right now, is at the top of that list. I think he is the player who could be the next one out of Barcelona. I think, look, the list I mentioned is really Umtiti's there, Braithwaite, Coutinho, Neto, along with Pjanić. I think those are the sorts of players, guys, that we really want to get rid of this window. And honestly, guys, we would need to get rid of them to resolve our huge wage and salary issues. But it does look like Pjanić will be heading back to Juventus. That's the news we're hearing. Allegri hinted at that in a press conference. He said maybe we'll be getting in a player who's very good at taking free kicks on his right foot pretty soon in his press conference. And we're hearing, guys, that, well, Juventus might be getting him on loan, either paying all of his salary or most of it on a reduced wage. Of course, he can't really be carrying on the wage that he's got at Barcelona anywhere else. And we are hoping that this Pjanić deal can be done once Juventus have moved on their current number 8 in Aaron Ramsey. So that's the situation with Pjanić, guys. I think in terms of, you look at the squad now, who else is going to leave? I think Pjanić is now at the top of that list. But don't forget, guys, we've got, what, over a month nearly of the window left, probably just less, guys, until September, August time. And I think, look at the players we want to get rid of: Umtiti, Braithwaite, Coutinho, Neto, maybe even a few more. We've got to start speeding these things up. And just touching on those sales, guys, because I think it is the thing we all talk about, like I just mentioned. It is what we say, you know, we've got to move these guys on. We've got to get competitive again. We've got to start building a team that we want for next season. And I think, look, it's not ideal, the situation, but Barcelona has some clear tasks to do before the transfer window closes. I think number one is to sell on those players, or loan them to clubs who are going to pay all of their salaries, or at least a lot of their salaries. I think those players are the ones I've just listed. Maybe a few others will be chucked in there, like Clement Lenglet. Honestly, I doubt it. And then also, guys, for the players that do stay at the club, they have to take a salary cut. That is just, you know, non-negotiable. The players who stay have to take a salary cut. If they don't, they'll try and be forced out. So it's a really sticky situation at Barcelona right now, and that's why it feels a little bit dull, I think. I think, you know, when we brought Laporta back as president, we were thinking fireworks, big exciting signings, making the team we want to see. And it just feels like Bartomeu's still here, doesn't it? Because of the way things are going, we've still got players who we don't want. We've still got players refusing to reduce their salary, players who aren't renewing their contracts. We're not being able to bring in players for money at all. You know, we're bankrupt in the market. And it is a horrible situation. It's not ideal, guys. It is frustrating, isn't it, as a Barcelona fan? And I'm sure all of you, whatever I see on Twitter or in the comments, is a little bit of frustration right now. So we're just hoping Laporta can find an okay solution. We're not expecting everything to be sorted in this summer, but hopefully he can reduce the salaries of the players. He can sell on some of those other players, like I mentioned, the Umtitis, Braithwaite, Pjanić. These guys, for me, they have to leave, really, guys, and I'm hoping Laporta can do that. It's not ideal, but that's the hope, really. And then, of course, on top of that, guys, you always ask me in the comments, are we going to bring in any other players? Are there going to be any new signings arriving at Barcelona this summer? And right now, guys, I'd say, you know what? It doesn't look likely. The only real way signings can come in is through a straight swap deal. So, for example, Saul would have been a new signing. That would have been a swap deal with Antoine Griezmann. But right now, as I said, guys, all of the focus is on reducing those players' wages and getting those players out. And that on its own, guys, is proving really hard to do for the board. So, never mind go and get new ones in is what they're thinking right now. We're just looking to reduce wages, sell on some of the current players. And that is why right now, guys, signings are looking very unlikely. So now then, guys, back to the football really for Barcelona. Of course, we are in the middle of our pre-season. The squad is actually today, as I'm speaking, travelling out to Germany for their mini pre-season camp. We've got a game on Saturday against Stuttgart, and then we've got a game against Austrian side Red Bull Salzburg there on the Wednesday also. And then after that, guys, Barcelona will return back to Catalonia, and we've actually got the Gamper Trophy in a few Sundays' time against Juventus. That's going to be a really interesting one. And then a week on that day will be the start of La Liga against Real Sociedad. So things coming thick and fast now, guys, for Barcelona, but hopefully we have some good news soon. I'm going to wrap up the video there. Please leave any of your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll be back with more content in the next few days. Of course, that match preview for the Stuttgart game will be out on Friday. That should be an interesting one with the likes of Alba, Busquets and Araujo back in. So let's see how that one goes. Until then, enjoy yourselves, enjoy your summers, and goodbye.